Okay, hey guys, good morning. This is Mr. Sean from Computerwisekids. We're just waiting until everyone joins in for this session for us to get started. We will start at 9 o'clock. So just waiting until everyone gets in. Thanks for joining us. So just sit tight, we'll get started very soon. Here, let me do this. Okay, yep, we got some more people joining us. I hope you guys have been having a nice day so far today and had a really nice weekend. We'll get started here very shortly. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. We're going to be teaching you how to master Zoom. So I'm pretty sure that some of you guys have definitely used Zoom in your online teaching. So we're going to definitely help you out and give you some more tips and guidelines of how you can better manage your online classroom. Okay, great. We got more people joining us. So we're at 13 participants, getting more people coming in. Great. Good morning, everyone. This is Mr. Sean from Computerwisekids. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're still waiting for everyone to join us. We will be starting at 9 o'clock. So thank you. And just sit tight, we'll get started very soon. Okay, great. We're getting more people joining us. Okay, we got, okay, great. So yeah, guys, just sit tight. We'll get started here pretty soon. We still got about 6 more minutes until it's 9 o'clock. Again, this is Mr. Sean from Computerwisekids. Be teaching you today how to master Zoom. So we'll be going through a lot of things. We have a nice presentation slideshow that we can access, and I'll be sharing that information with you very soon. Okay, we're getting more people joining us now. We're at 20 participants, which is great. We'll see if we can get a couple more here in the next 5 minutes. Okay, we're at 22 participants right now, which is really good. I think we got more people joining us. So just sit tight and we'll get started very shortly here. Okay, we're at 23 participants. Again, this is Mr. Sean with Computerwisekids.
Oh, can you hear this?
Yes. Hi, good morning. Hi, good morning. So let's see here. Yeah, we're still waiting here about 4 more minutes before we officially get started. So just sit tight here. I will keep you guys muted right now, just as everyone's coming in, and then I'll give you guys a chance to communicate with me. I'll unmute everyone. So just wait 1 second. Still got some people coming into our online meeting. All right, so right now we're at 28 participants. We still have about 3 minutes until we officially start. So thank you guys so much for joining us early this morning and being right on time. Again, my name is Mr. Sean. I'm with Computerwisekids, and today I'll be teaching you guys all about Zoom and all the great things that you can do with it for managing your classroom. Okay, we're gonna see if we get a couple more people in here, and then we'll get started. Okay, got a couple more coming in right when I said that we got more people joining, so that's great. All right. Okay, we're getting more people joining in. That's good. So thank you for joining us this morning. This is Mr. Sean with Computerwisekids, technology education company. We're gonna get started here pretty soon. We're just waiting for everyone to join in. So thank you for coming a little early, getting all set up and everything. Okay, great. So right now we're at 35 participants. Still got about 2 more minutes. So we're gonna see if anyone else joins in. Okay, yeah, we're at 37 participants now. We got some more people joining us. So thanks for joining us this morning. So waiting just for a couple more, and we will get started very shortly. Okay, great. Yep, got some more people joining in. Very nice. Okay, we're at 8:59. We're about to get started here. We got 43 participants joining us today, so really solid number. Okay, great. So I'm going to stop my share screen here just for a second. Okay, and you guys should all be able to see me. Okay, all right. So let me do one thing here. Okay, let me go ahead and get started. So good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Mr. Sean. I work for Computerwisekids. We're a technology education company that provides assistance for elementary schools in need for technology. Now, the most important thing that we provide is the education in the classroom. We teach students how to use that technology and how to utilize it so the students become efficient to do all of their classwork. And so with Computerwisekids, we provide a lot of assistance for all of the students in the classroom, as well as providing technology assistance to the teachers. Especially today, thank you guys so much for joining us, because we're going to be teaching you how to use Zoom efficiently for your classroom, okay? With the online learning, as we continue moving forward, we're really excited to be offering these professional developments, and we're going to be continuing to do these in the coming days. So if you want to sign up for those, please go to our website and we have more information about that. You can contact us. All right. Right now, I have everyone muted, have everyone's video off. I want to let you know that we are live streaming this on YouTube. So if you ever want to go back and find out more information about what we were talking about, you can search for our YouTube channel on YouTube. It's Computerwisekids. Okay. All right. So right now, I'm managing the whole classroom. I have everyone muted, have their videos off and everything. But what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right here. And I'm going to be showing you guys a presentation. Okay, and I'm going to share this link with you so you can follow along with me as well. All right, yep, we got a couple more people joining in. All right, hey guys, thanks for joining us. We just got started, so thanks again for coming in. I'm going to go ahead and share this link with you into the chat. Okay, and so if you want to go ahead and click on this link, then you will be able to access this presentation as well. Okay, yep, and I see people coming in. Perfect, perfect. Okay, we still got a couple more people joining the meeting, so I'm just gonna wait here just a moment before I get started. I wanna share the link with them as well. All right. Hi guys, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Let's see here. I'm gonna share this link one more time. We got one more person in the waiting room just coming in. Let's see. Okay. Oh, one more person. Okay. Okay, great. So if you just joined us, we're talking about mastering Zoom. There's a presentation link that you guys can click on. You guys will be able to access. And this will give you all the information that you need detailing what we're talking about today. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. So mastering Zoom. All right, so as we move forward into the new school year, we have to be prepared using Zoom and be efficient with what we're doing. Okay, we want to make sure that the students can understand what we're doing as well. Okay, so I'm going to be going through these guidelines here. The chat should be open, so if you guys do have a question, please put it into the chat and I'll be able to help you out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. All right, so right here we have our overview and we're going to be talking about a couple of different things. Creating a Zoom account. Now, most of all of us, we should already have our Zoom accounts, okay, tied in with our LAUSD email. Makes it very simple for us to manage, okay. It's especially our second step will be installing Zoom Desktop for Windows and Mac PC. Now, I just want to make sure we should all have Zoom already installed, especially if we're educators and we've already been teaching throughout the school year, especially with everything that's going on. So yeah, we should definitely already have Zoom already installed on our computer. Okay. The next thing is scheduling a Zoom meeting. Okay. We'll be going through that as well. Okay. And logging into a Zoom meeting, meeting controls and do's and don'ts. All right. So we're going to be here. We're going to be talking about all this great stuff. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Okay. So right here on slide number 3, we have creating a Zoom account. Okay. So all you ever have to do is you just have to go to the website link. If you do need to create an account or you know someone else that needs an account, if you have a TA that's helping you out with the online classes, they should be also having an account with Zoom. Okay. So all they have to do is go to the website zoom.us. And that's going to take them straight here. Okay. And what you want to do, I'm already signed into my account, but if I signed out, oh, let me sign out really quick. If I was to sign out, then right here it says sign up, it's free. Okay. Hold on one second. Oh, yes, Rhoda, yeah, definitely. You can definitely have someone asking if you can sign up for the other PDs at 2 p.m. Yes, most definitely. So we'll provide that information for you. No problem. Okay, so going back to what we're talking about today, just getting on with Zoom and everything. Okay, so if you wanted to sign up or have a TA or a parent that needs to sign up or anything, you just have to take them to this website, zoom.us. Again, that's in the presentation. Okay, so you can always access that since you guys have the link for that. Okay. All right, and just going to the sign up section where it says sign up, it's free. It will take them through the whole account registration process. Okay. And it will ask for certain things about birth date and everything. So that information is important for getting set up with an account. Okay. Zoom also has removed the 40-minute time limit, as you guys may know. So you guys can go ahead and do your whole meetings without any interruptions, okay, in your whole class sessions. And as I mentioned earlier, you want to use your LAUSD account when you sign in with Zoom, all right? Okay, let's see here. Yes, yes. Someone's asking me, yes, can you access Schoology with Zoom? Yes. So as we go through the presentation, I'll be explaining that, and there's a video that we can watch, and I'll let you guys do that on your own after the session's over. Okay. So yeah, there is a way that you can access Zoom with Schoology. Okay. So moving forward here. Okay. So we have right here the installing the Zoom desktop. Okay, this is really important because this is what you use to start your meetings. Okay, it's what you use to manage your meetings, especially with me. I have a virtual background. Okay, so you can go through the settings in the Zoom desktop application and you can change all of that. Okay, I'll explain that a little bit as we go through here, just so we know. All right. So the most important thing is you want to be able to download the Zoom desktop, all right? And so the link is right here, okay? And if you just go to the Zoom website, zoom.us, you'll find a section where it says download, and you'll be able to download the application from there as well, okay? They're really important because you can schedule your meetings, you want to start your meetings, you can really use this to manage everything, okay? So as an educator, you want to make sure that you definitely have this installed and good to go on your computer. And especially if you've been doing the Zoom virtual online classes with distance learning, then you would already know about all this and have it all ready to go. Okay. Thanks for joining. I got a couple more people just coming in. Thanks for joining us, guys. Thank you so much. Again, I just want to explain who I am. I'm Mr. Sean with Computerwisekids. We're explaining about Zoom and how to master the application so you can better manage your classroom. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us. We do have a presentation, so let me just share this link really quick for the ones that just came in. Let me do this here. Okay. Give me 1 second, everyone. I just want to share this link with our new participants that just joined us. So if you just joined us, if you click on that link that I just shared in the chat, in the Zoom chat, you'll be able to access the same thing that everyone else is looking at, which is our Zoom presentation. Okay, moving forward here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go on to slide 5. Now, this is a question that I got from another teacher or an educator, and they're asking me how to use Zoom with Schoology. Okay, so this is a nice video to kind of explain all that. I want to save that for after our session because you guys do have this link. Okay, you can access this at any time and you can watch this video. Okay. I want to be able to explain about how to schedule your meetings with Zoom, how to manage the classroom, okay? So with Schoology, if you're interested in using Zoom with Schoology, just watch this video after our presentation, okay? All right. So I'm going to go on to slide 6, scheduling a Zoom meeting, all right? So the most important thing when you're scheduling your Zoom meetings is you want to make sure that you have your topic, right? Okay, so if you're a first grade class, okay, you want to make sure that you put first grade, all right? That helps the parents especially manage what's going on if they have additional children, okay, especially in different grades. So it's good to make sure that you really make that clear, all right? You want to make sure that you also have a date and time. This is when the meeting is going to be set up, okay? And if it's reoccurring, okay? So you can set up your meetings to be reoccurring each day, okay? So you don't always have to make a brand new meeting for each session that you're making, okay? And I'm going to be explaining this. I'm going to be going through this with you, all right? Another thing that you want to always make sure that you do when you're scheduling your meetings is you want to make sure that you have a password, okay? Password's really important. You want to make sure your meeting is protected, okay? You want to make sure the only people that are coming into the meeting are the ones that are required. All right. Again, you can also set a video and audio option. So that's up to you. I like to, especially when I'm leading a class, I like to keep everyone muted, okay? And at my own discretion, I'll choose if I want to keep the video on or off, okay? And this really makes sure that all the students are staying focused to me without any interruptions. Now, there are some other features in Zoom that I can use and that the students can use to get my attention, okay? And so we'll be explaining that as we move forward. Okay, we got just a couple more people joining us. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Thank you so much. We're at 62 participants, so that's really good. We're explaining and talking about how to master Zoom today, okay? So thank you guys so much for joining us. Okay, going through some more, okay? Now, if you have calendar access, you can go ahead and add that, okay? So we'll be explaining that as well. And there's some advanced options, okay? How to mute participants, enable the waiting room, enable join before host, and recording your sessions, okay? So one thing that I wanna point out is you always wanna make sure that you have a waiting room enabled for your virtual online classes, okay? You always wanna do that because you can really access and find out who is coming into your virtual online class, okay? So having that waiting room kind of sets up a precursor before they can come in, and you can make sure and verify who that student is before they come in. It adds more security. Yeah, okay, yeah, no problem. So I got a couple of questions here in the chat, just asking how do I set up my my meetings Monday through Friday, and that's using the reoccurring option. So I'm going to be explaining that right now. So give me 1 second here. So I get to the Zoom. We got a couple more people joining us. Okay, great. Hi guys, thanks for joining us. Yes, and I got another question, how to allow screen sharing. Yes, I will explain that, no problem. Okay. Yep, and how to access breakout rooms, no problem. Yeah, I'll explain all that. That's definitely not a problem. I'll save that for the end, and I'll be going through all of those. Okay. Yes, Joy, yes, I will be showing you how to use breakout rooms. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, so we should be able to see my screen. Okay, so right here, you want to make sure that you schedule a new meeting. Okay, and then you're going to come to this screen. Now, to set up a reoccurring meeting, okay, you have to make sure that this checkbox is checked. Okay, because doing that will set up the reoccurrence option, okay? Do you wanna do it daily? Do you wanna do it weekly, monthly? Of course, we're doing online classes each day during the week, so we wanna do it daily, okay? Now, someone was asking me, oh, how do you take off the weekend option? So right now, if you set up to daily, even if you have meetings going on Saturday and Sunday, no one won't be able to join those, okay? So that's fine. And you can set up how many days this is going to happen, okay? And another thing that you want to do is you can also set it up by how many occurrences, all right? So I usually like to set mine up by date, okay? If you feel that you need that extra security, maybe it would be best every semester that you have in school that you reset up a new Zoom meeting, okay, with a new ID and a session ID and everything. Okay. Most importantly, you always want to make sure that you have a passcode. Now, Zoom will always generate a passcode for you that you can use. But we definitely, with Computerwisekids, we like to make our own custom ones. All right, it makes it a lot easier for us to manage everything. So I recommend that you have your own custom one as well. Okay, maybe your room number, maybe the last name that you have. Okay, hold on 1 second, got a question here. Okay, yeah, someone's saying that I wasn't able to see my students in the waiting room. Okay, so yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that. I haven't seen that one, not being able to see anyone in the waiting room. It might depend on what type of device they're using. So we'll kind of talk about that a little bit more in detail, and I'll see if I can help you guys out. Yeah, Barbara's asking, does the passcode change at every meeting or can you keep it consistent? Yeah, so you can definitely keep it consistent if you set up reoccurring meetings. So reoccurring meetings, super important, super important. You want to definitely have this as you're going through your classes, okay? And you always, when you set up your reoccurring meeting, the passcode is always going to be the same. It's not going to change. Okay, so going back to this, setting up your meeting, with the video, okay, I keep it on for the host, and at your own discretion, you can keep it on for the participant as well. It really depends on how your students are interacting with you in the online virtual classroom, and if you want to make sure that you can see what is happening. It is good to keep it on for the student, but again, that's at your own discretion, okay? Because there's a lot of things going on at home, especially for the students. There might be multiple Zoom sessions happening with other siblings. So it's at your own discretion. And when you're hosting your meeting, you can definitely manage everything that's happening. So just like how I started this meeting, I turned off the video for everyone. You guys can use the chat to just communicate with me, and the audio is off right now. This next part right here where it says audio, and again, this is just for setting up your meeting. You want to make sure it's set up for both, okay? You can also, if you're just using your computer, you can just select computer audio, but I usually just always leave it on both, just in case if there's any type of situation where the internet in my house goes down or anything, I can hop onto my phone and manage it from that way and still connect with my students. And then going down here to the meeting options. Okay, this part is super important. You want to make sure that you do not have this box checked. Okay, enable join before hosts. That can be a really cause for concern because students can join your classroom even before you're in there. Okay, so it's really important that you don't have this enabled. Okay, you got to always make sure that this enable join before host is checked off. It's not checked. Okay, I always like to meet the participants when especially they come into the classroom, okay, because again, they're at home, the TV could be blasting, there could be music or something, so I like to make sure that everyone's muted when they come in, okay, just to make sure that there's no distractions, okay. Again, going down here, down this list, okay, you can record this meeting automatically, okay, so if you need to set up anything for other students to see what is happening, what's going on, you can always record your sessions, okay? And as you're going through here, only authenticated users can join. That is not something that we need to worry about too much, okay? So you don't need to check that off, okay? And once you do that, you're just gonna go to save, and that's gonna save your meeting. And let me just do this. Just set this up really quick. I'm going to show you how we can delete the meeting and how we can access anything if we actually delete it, okay? Okay, so I saved this meeting, okay, Zoom meeting 0804, okay? And everything is here, okay? So when you start your meetings, okay, you can always go through the website as well, and it's gonna bring up a dialogue before you actually start Zoom, and it'll ask you, is it okay to start Zoom with the settings set up, and then you can go ahead and get started. Let me just see, I got a couple questions here in the chat. Yes, so someone's asking me, can you keep the meeting ID indefinitely for reoccurring meetings? Yes, you just have to set up how many reoccurring meetings that you can do. Okay. Okay, and then I got someone else asking me, how can I do polls? Polls are conducted only with a paid account with Zoom. So if you have a paid account, or if your school is supplying you with a paid account, once you log in with your Zoom account and everything, and you have your meeting going, there's going to be a little option down at the bottom next to participants that says polls. Okay, and I'll see if I can bring that up. Okay. Okay, and then someone's asking, yeah, can I record my meetings? Yes, yes, you definitely can. Okay, great. Yeah, again, I'm going through this, so I just got a couple questions if I can show you how to do a co-host. So the co-host, you need the paid account for that. Okay, so if your school is providing you the paid account, then you can set up the co-host, and the other person that's co-hosting with you, they need to have the paid account as well. So that's a Zoom feature only set up with a paid account. Okay. All right, so going through here, okay. So if we set up our meeting and everything, it's going to give us the option, okay, to go ahead and start this meeting down here. All right, so I'm going to go back here to my meetings, okay, and this is what I have going on for tomorrow. Now, I don't need this meeting, okay, so I'm going to just show you how to delete it. So all you have to do is just click this delete button right here, okay, and it's going to ask you. Now, if you set up multiple occurrences for the meeting, then you want to select delete all occurrences, okay? If you only set up one meeting, then you would just select delete this occurrence, which is just what I have. All right. Now, let's say I'm teaching a class, okay, but I accidentally deleted my meeting that I have going on. All right. So there's a way to definitely do this, okay? Right up here on the top, we have upcoming meetings, previous meetings, personal meeting room, and meeting templates, okay? So right up here, we're going to go to previous meetings. All right. And when I'm here, we'll see everything else that I've done before in the past, okay? And let me see upcoming meetings. Okay, so it looks like they might have moved something because it was here in the previous meetings. Anyways, there should be an option here to view your deleted meetings. Oh, here it goes, right here. Yes, I'm so sorry. Yeah, they must have moved this. So right here, it says recently deleted. Okay, so you just click on that and then I'll see the deleted meeting that I had. Okay, so they must have just moved that, so I do apologize about that. And if you have to recover your meeting, you can, just right there. Now, another thing is if you need to bring up another session, just like I was showing you with the previous meetings, okay, you can go here and you can go ahead and do that. All right. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and go back here. I got a couple more people joining in. Hi, thanks for joining us. Oh yeah, so yeah, someone's asking me, does anyone know if LAUSD will allow us to record our Zoom session? So that is a security thing for LAUSD for privacy concerns. So I'm gonna assume that it's just like how it was the last school year where we're not gonna be recording the meetings, okay? Yep. Okay, thanks, Edith. Okay, great. All right, so again, these are tools that you have, okay, at your disposal when you're setting up your Zoom meeting, okay? Now, when you're inviting students, okay, you can do a lot of different things, okay? Oh, let me show you one more thing here. Okay, so right here we have the Zoom Mastering PD, okay, that we're doing. Now we have this invite link, okay. Okay, great. Susan, I'll let everyone know. Thanks for your comment. Okay, great. Let me go ahead and do this. I'm gonna switch the chat over so you guys can all chat with each other. Okay, so give me 1 second. Okay, so I just changed the chat to everyone publicly. Susan was letting everyone know that LASD said they would automatically record if conducted on Schoology, so students can go back and see the lesson. All right. So yeah, a couple of conflicting statements just because LASD says not to record, but then they're also saying that if you're using Schoology, it might be possible. Okay. So again, I would talk to your coordinator at the school just to make sure you get follow guidelines and assistance with that, just so you know. All right, so going back, I just want to explain a couple things. So you have an invite link that you can use, okay? Using that link, if you post it on Schoology or send it through an email or however you get information to your parents, you can use the invite link. I also like to include the meeting ID and the passcode, okay? Because that's really important. You want to make sure that you have that. Without that, if they have a problem clicking on the link, they won't be able to join. So you want to always make sure you have your meeting ID and your passcode as well. Okay. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. So Anne's asking if I can show you how to change the chat options as well. Yeah, most definitely. So just near the end, I'll be addressing all of those issues and concerns. Okay, thank you for asking. So again, when it goes to inviting students, okay, you can copy the meeting invitation, okay? And let me show you that really quick. Okay, so we have the invite link, which is always good to use. And then if you want to copy the invitation, just click on copy invitation when you're in the Zoom website, okay? The only thing is it's going to give you this very long information, okay? So having this is could be a lot to send in an email. So that's why I usually just like to send the meeting link with the meeting ID and the password. Okay, makes it a lot simpler, quicker for the parents to read because, you know, they got a lot of things to do as well. And when you have all that information on there, it can be very daunting. Okay, so as long as you make it a little easier for them just with the meeting ID and the passcode, I think it will be very straightforward. Okay. And again, you can post this in a lot of different locations. It depends on what you typically use at school. If you use Schoology or Class Dojo, if you send emails to students, okay, or if you use Google Classroom, okay. So having all of these options to send and communicate with your students, very helpful, very informative for us and for the students. Okay, so moving on down here, okay. So from a student's perspective, okay, when they're joining your meetings, when you give them that link, it's going to take them straight to your meeting without having to put in a passcode or anything. Now, in some situations, some occurrences, if you cannot share links, okay, you want to make sure that you have this link right here, okay, and that's to join the session. Just like how I was talking about the meeting ID, how important that is to have, okay. Having this link will take you straight to the section where they need to put in the meeting ID. Okay, so let's see if I can, yep. And so right here, okay, I'm at the meeting ID, okay, or join the meeting. So I just got to put in my meeting ID, and that's that information that we sent out earlier, okay, for the students to have. So that's why we want to make sure when we're sending out or communicating with anyone, our parents or students, even other teachers, you know, it's really good to make sure you have that meeting ID on there. Okay, great. And then first-time users, especially the first time joining, they're going to be asked to install Zoom, okay? Especially if they're using an iPad, they should already, LASD and the school should already have that pre-installed for them. So if not, we just need to make sure that we speak with our coordinators so they understand that that is a requirement, okay? Especially if you have the kinder students, they're going to be using those iPads on a continuous basis. So you got to make sure that everything is good to go. And trust me, the coordinators know about this at the schools. They definitely have done a great job with making sure that the students have everything that they need at this point. So especially since we went into the middle of the school year with the COVID-19 happening, I really think that we're going to be more equipped and better suited to handle any needs at the beginning of this school year. Okay, moving on forward, okay. So when you join that session, just like how you guys joined today, you're gonna make sure that you have all of your information with you, okay? And when you're hosting, just like how I said, you're gonna get a dialogue that pops up, okay? So you're gonna always see this where it says open Zoom meetings, and that's gonna take you straight to the online class, or it's gonna take you to the Zoom interface, the Zoom desktop that we spoke about earlier. Okay. Okay, so I got someone asking, I use my personal meeting ID and password for remote learning. Now I will get new students. Do I use the same personal meeting ID? So what I would do is I would generate a new meeting ID. Okay, so you would want to generate a new one, just because you don't want the students that came into your class before from the last year. So that's the only reason why. Okay, yeah, and I got another question. Any hints about getting dropped from Zoom meetings, internet info? So because everyone's doing the distance learning and everything, there could be situations where the internet could drop depending on who has access, what's going on. If other people at home are using the internet as well, it takes up bandwidth. So that at that discretion, if anyone gets dropped from a call or anything, the best thing to do is after maybe the class is over, maybe reach out to that student and see if what they missed out on, and you can maybe have the parents have some additional information through an email or any assignments that you guys are working on. Okay. Okay, yeah, and another question. Yeah, no problem, guys. Yeah, I'll show you how to turn off the chat for the students. Okay. And the Zoom session, if you use your personal meeting ID, that's always going to be the same one. So you want to make sure that you generate a new meeting. When you do that, I'll show you right here really quick, okay? So, oh, I got to make a new meeting. Let me do that really quick. So making a new meeting. So right here, okay, where it says meeting ID, it says generate automatically and personal ID. Okay, you want to use generate automatically, okay, because that right there, well, right here, this generate automatically will always set up a new meeting ID for you guys. Yeah, so the question is, let me see, what kind of bandwidth do we need to keep Zoom going? So I'm talking about Ethernet, internet. Well, high-speed internet is what we typically use, especially for our Zoom calls. So that's what you want to make sure that you have, okay? And most of us, we all use high-speed internet, whether it's DSL or LAN or internet. Okay, so going back to this, thank you for the questions. Okay, so going back to this slide number 11. Okay, so these are meeting tools at your disposal. Okay, and this is what you can use to mute yourself. Okay, especially during the meeting. So if you ever need to mute yourself, you can just press that mute icon right there, and that will go ahead and mute yourself. The students won't be able to hear you. okay? And if you're curious, oh, how do I mute the students if they were talking, okay? So what you can do is, let me go ahead and share my whole desktop. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm sharing my whole desktop right here. So I can see all of the participants in this meeting. So if I went to a participant and as you can see, just hovering over it with a mouse, okay, that gives you the option to mute or unmute anyone, okay? Now Zoom also has a virtual hand that you can use. It's an icon in Zoom, okay, if someone has a question. So usually when I'm leading my classes, I'll get a student that might have a question and I'll let them know in the beginning, use the virtual hand option, okay? So you can communicate with me. I know you have a question. All right, so let me do this. I'm gonna go back to my desktop. Okay, I think everyone, oh, no one can see my desktop. Okay, give me 1 second. Thank you for that. This should be working. I'm sharing my whole screen. So the Zoom tool might be hidden. I'll go back and show that again. It should be here in the presentation, so I'll go back and show that one more time, okay? All right, so let me go back here. Thank you for letting me know. All right. Okay, so I'll go back and show that one more time. Okay. So right over here, okay, we're gonna go to the next slide, number 12. And again, just like I said, you can always go back again to this presentation. I shared that link in the very beginning. So if you guys ever need to go back and see that, you definitely can. Okay, there we go. All right, so your camera, that's the webcam that you use. Most of us are using the laptops. So that already usually has a webcam built into it. So that's what I'm using here. Now, if you have like a desktop PC, some teachers I definitely have seen, they have the actual webcam up, so that works as well. Yes, yeah, Anne has a question if there's a way to keep the students muted and so they can't unmute themselves. Yeah, I'll see if I can definitely show that on here. It should be on the presentation. If it's not, I will show it by sharing my desktop somehow, if I can show my tools. Okay, so someone was asking me earlier, how can my students share their computer screen? Okay, so slide number 13 right here, okay, it has meeting tools security. Okay, so you want to go to the security icon, click on that. And right here, this is, and then someone was asking me about the chat also, okay? This is where you can control a lot of things, okay? Like I said earlier, you always want to keep that meeting room enabled, okay? Always have the meeting room enabled, okay? Yes, Norma, I'll explain that here in just a second. So right here where it says allow participants to, if you want your students to share the screen, then you have to click on security and go to share screen, okay? Sometimes I'll ask a student to share their screen if they get a little lost or a little behind. So you always got to go to security and enable this, okay? It's not turned on its own, all right? And then right here, if you want to control the chat, you can just go to security and turn off the chat. So if your students are talking while they're disrupting you or anything, yes, you want to turn that off, okay? And then right here where it says unmute themselves, okay? So someone was asking me, oh, my students keep unmuting themselves. You can go to the security and turn that off, okay? And especially if students are renaming themselves, okay? Now, Norma was asking me a question about students that turn off their video. Okay, so, and then her question was, is there a way for the teacher to turn it on? Yes, there is. So the only thing that we can do on our end is request for the student to turn it on. Okay, so if you have your meeting going and you look at your participant list, okay, and everyone's hidden or the video is not on, you can go to their participant list, click on their name, and there should be a little box or a little window that pops up. that has 3 dots on it, and then you can request to turn on their video, and it'll always put a dialogue on the student's computer screen. Okay, so I'll see if there's anything on this presentation detailing that as we go through, and I can talk about it a little bit more in detail. Okay, so going to slide number 14, okay, managing your participants, okay. So just like how I was explaining, okay, you can also go to the participant section, and for security features, just like that was in the security section right here, you can set up a couple of things, a couple of parameters, okay? So if you want everyone to communicate, you can ask all the participants to unmute themselves. If you want to mute the participants when they join the meeting, just like how I was explaining earlier, there could be background noise, there could be other things happening at home. I usually like to have that checked on, okay? Another thing is allow participants to unmute themselves. Okay, so if you don't want anyone to unmute themselves, keep that unchecked, okay? Because if you have that checked, that means that they'll be able to unmute, okay? And allow participants to rename themselves, okay? And this is a nice feature to have, play a sound when someone joins or leaves your meeting, okay? So if you have the waiting room enabled, but you're going through your lesson, having this play sound when someone joins or leaves is really helpful, really beneficial for you, just in case if you're so cut into your lesson and going through everything, you want to make sure that you can hear or know if someone's joining the meeting if they come a little late. Yeah, so the security section will only show up when you're hosting a meeting, okay? Because someone was asking, I don't see the security section now. So that only happens when you're hosting a meeting, okay? And enabling the waiting room, very important. You want to have the waiting room enabled. Okay, cool. All right, moving through here, we're going to go to slide number 15, okay? So you can invite your contacts, and this is really for the students that are in your class. This is a good thing to have, okay? So when you have participants joining your meeting over and over again, they're going to show up in this contact session right here, okay? And this is how you can invite people as well. Now, if you always have your Schoology going or Class Dojo or anything that you use to communicate with the parents, you're always sending that information there. But you should be able to see in your contacts after a while when the students keep joining that they will show up here. Okay. All right. Yeah, someone's asking, can we play music on Zoom? Yeah, so what I do to actually do that, to play the music is I'll make another tab on my browser. I use Google Chrome quite a lot for everything. So I just make a new tab and then I go on YouTube and I'll just play something in the background. Like just like when this meeting started, I had music playing in the before we officially started. So that's usually how I do it. All right, moving through here. Okay, so number 16, slide number 16. This one's important because I did have a teacher asking me about this, okay, or an educator, and they were asking me about how to set up the chat, okay, so the students can only communicate with you. Now, I will say this is a really important, great feature to have. When I first started this session today, I only had the chat set up to only send messages to me. Okay, and that really helps so it doesn't distract anyone else and they can see what's going on. I did change that setting so everyone can chat publicly. Okay, so you can set this up. I prefer if you use Zoom with your online learning and everything as we're doing this. You want to make sure if you're going to set up the chat, you want to set up to everyone publicly. Okay, if you want to enable that option. With your students. Now, if you feel like you need to control the classroom a little bit more, okay, especially with the chat and everything, okay, then you can change this to host only. Yeah, Roxana is asking, is there a way to enable the chat between two other people? So yeah, that's where you would want to enable the publicly and privately. If you have a class going and you need an assistant or a TA or anyone to chat with another student, you can do that one publicly or privately. But there's another way that we can do that using a breakout room, and I'll explain that here a little bit too. Okay, got a couple more slides to get through. Right now, I'm just going to save the questions to the end because we only got about 15 minutes left, and I want to make sure I can get through these last couple of slides. Okay, so moving forward here, I'll answer your questions. Yeah, no problem. I'll answer those questions here right at the end. Okay, so just give me one moment so I can continue going through these slides here. Okay. All right, so earlier I was talking about the share screen. Okay, so using the share screen, you just have to go to security. Remember, this only works for the host. The host has to enable this. If the host enables the share screen, then what you can do is you can have your students share their work. Now for you as a teacher, if you want to share your screen, just like how I'm sharing my screen now, you just have to click this green icon that says share screen, and then the available screens that you can share are going to pop up right here. Okay, so you have screen, I have Google Chrome, downloads folder, depends. I usually just like to share the browser. So when you're sharing the browser, it's just showing what you guys are working on. All right. And then there's some other options that you can do. Okay, you can share certain portions of the screen. If you have 2 cameras connected, which can be a little tricky at times, you can set that up as well, especially with the computer sound only. Okay, so like someone was asking me, oh, can I play music? Like I said, just make a new tab and put on something in YouTube, or if you have music on your computer already that you'd like to play, you can do that as well. Just play it and you can have it in the background. Okay. Yeah, I'll answer everyone's question near the end. Okay, so Cara, yeah, I'll help you out here near the end. Yeah, Ellen, yeah, the 2 o'clock session is a repeat. It's exactly the same thing of what we're doing today. Okay, great. Okay, so when you're sharing your screen, okay, you can use a lot of great things, okay? You can also share content with students, okay? So with files, if you need to share like a Word doc or a Google Drive doc, you can always put that in the chat, okay? There should be an option in the chat where it says files. And if that option is not there, what you can do is you can go into your control panel down at the bottom, okay? And there should be a section where you can share files, okay? And it looks like they added a couple more on there. So just go to share screen, go to files, and then you can select where you want to share it from. Again, you can also you can drag and drop it into the chat, okay? And this is what I'm using right now. This is slide 20, okay? So right here, if you go to the more option, you have a couple more quick ways of how to access certain things, okay? So for instance, like we're streaming this live on YouTube, I have that option. That only happens with a paid account, just so you know, okay? Definitely you can use the breakout rooms if you need to, and I'll see if I can explain that a little bit more in detail here. Okay. Let me explain this here. This is Annotate. So you can use this option if you need to write on the screen, just like how I am right now. Sorry, I'm writing with the mouse. It's not so good. So anyways, yeah, you can write on the screen if you need to point something out or anything. You can definitely do that. There's options here to definitely maybe write out text. And you can point out exactly where the students need to go and what they need to click on and everything. All right. Now, one thing that I do want to point out, especially this happens sometimes with my meetings, is that the students will come, they know about the annotate button, and they'll start writing on the screen. So if you go to security, okay, there's an option, and let me see if I can go back here just for a second. I'm going to just go back here. It's not on here, unfortunately. So when you're hosting a meeting, if you go to security, there's an option that says annotate on shared content. Okay, so that means the students can do that as well. All right, so you just want to turn that off so they're not writing on the screen, because sometimes when I'm leading my classes, the students know about the annotate button and they can go ahead and write on the screen. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for helping out with that. Okay, so going back, meeting tools, if you need to record anything, like I said, ask your coordinator, make sure that's an okay thing to do. I got a couple of people saying that you can't record, but if you're using Schoology, you can to help the students get caught up. I think that's probably the proper way because Schoology is a little bit more secure than just putting it out there. So talk with your coordinator about that, see if they can definitely help you out with getting the right info. Using the breakout rooms, okay? So the breakout rooms really useful, especially if you have a TA that's in the room, and that's only if that's allowed with your school. Sometimes, especially with Computerwisekids, we'll have educators in the breakout rooms, and we'll be helping out the students that need that extra assistance so it doesn't stop the whole lesson for everyone else. And the teachers are there. We'll put the teacher in the breakout room. Educators are there. So it's all secure, making sure that we're helping out the students that need that extra assistance. Okay, so if you're hosting a meeting, you need to use the breakout room, just click the icon that says breakout rooms, okay? And then that's gonna pop up a new window, okay? And it's gonna show you all your participants in the breakout room, okay? And what you want to do is you don't want to set it up to automatically, okay? You want to set it up to manually, okay? Having it manual is a lot better because then you can go to your participant list, which will pop up, and you can assign which participants are going to which breakout room. If you have an extra teacher with you, another educator, make sure you send that educator first to the breakout room so they're in there, and then send the other students, okay? This is really important. When you end your session, you always want to make sure that you end your session for everyone, okay? Don't just click where it says leave meeting when you end, because you want to make sure that that you're not leaving the students in there by themselves. If you just leave the meeting, it's going to make someone else the host and the students are just going to be in there by themselves, okay? You can always come back as the host, okay? You just have to rejoin the meeting, all right? So just going through your Zoom desktop, you can go ahead and do that. But you want to make sure that when the class is over, click where it says end meeting for all, okay? Make sure it's ended for everyone, all right? Okay, so these are just some guidelines that you want to make sure that you have, okay, that you know, all right? You want to be able to mute the microphone when you need to. You want to enable full screen mode, okay? You want to enable the chat window. You need to click on all these icons when you get into your class. And it's really helpful to make sure that you start your class. I like to start like 15 minutes ahead of time to make sure I got everything set up and good to go, all right? And then with Zoom, it's really good to switch to gallery view. And I'm gonna, you can go ahead and do that. When I stop my share screen, I'll show you how we can do that, okay? Some do's and don'ts, okay? Just like how I said, you wanna make sure that you practice running a meeting without students, okay? So it's good, oops, sorry about that. It's good to make sure that you try this out with the teachers so you can go through everything. If you guys have questions about anything, you guys can help each other out. If you guys have your grade meetings or anything, that's really helpful, beneficial. You want to make sure that you run your meetings in a quiet space. Okay, I have a 2-year-old, she's running around all the time, but I try to make sure that I'm in a quiet spot without any distractions. You want to make sure that you have your camera on. That way you can kind of see what you're doing and what the students can see. Okay, you can start meetings with students on mute, just like how I said. You want to make sure that when the students come in, there's no background noise. You like to have a 5 to 10 minute grace period. So yeah, you want to make sure that when you start, you give just a couple of minutes for everyone to join in, because sometimes someone could have a computer issue, they can't join in right away, so that might just happen. And then establish a system for kids to engage with you, okay? So in the Zoom settings, for the students, they can use reactions, okay? That's in the chat settings, all right? So, and those reactions are very straightforward. They're basically just like a thumbs up or hand raised or anything. It's not anything too obscure. And then you want to make sure that using that chat, you want to explain all this, especially on your first day of school, where everything is. And it's going to take a minute, especially if they're new students to the school or new to the system with Zoom and everything. You want to make sure that they just have a great understanding of where everything is, okay? And it might take, you know, a week or two, but I really believe that they'll be able to adapt very well to this, okay? And then just like how I said, you can call on students to unmute themselves and to share their screen if you need to, okay? Don't expect this, don't expect things to run like your regular classroom. It's not gonna work that way, unfortunately. With distance learning, we have to adapt to the changes just like how the students are, okay? So we have to, maybe, I would like to say we have to think maybe 2 or 3 steps ahead to make sure that we don't have any problems or any issues. Don't get discouraged if your sessions do not go as planned. That happens, okay? We do a lot of planning as educators to make sure that everything runs really smoothly and perfectly, but there might be a couple hiccups there. If that ever happens, think about what happened and then how you can change it so it won't happen the next time. That's the best advice I can give. That's what I use as an educator, so I know what parts I need to tweak if needed, okay? Don't forget to check the chat periodically. Right now, I did set up the chat for you guys to communicate with each other. So I'm not checking it at the moment, but I will be checking it here at the end because we only have a couple minutes left. And then you want to make sure that you leave your meeting before ending it for everyone, okay? So don't leave your meeting before ending it. Make sure you end it for everyone, okay? So I'm going down to the next slide. I'm going to go ahead and answer some questions here, the best of my ability, to help you guys out. And if there's something that I cannot answer, I'll provide my email in the chat, and you guys can send me an email, and then I'll be able to assist you. Okay. Now, a follow-up session is going to happen later this afternoon. This is by Josue Sanchez, okay? So he's one of our other educators with Computerwisekids. So if you want to join that afternoon session, maybe get a little bit more information, yeah, I would definitely say join in for that if you have registered. Okay, I'm going to stop my share screen right now, okay? And then for everyone else, I'm going to go ahead and go into the chat and see if I can help you guys out. Okay, so I do got a couple messages here. Let's see. All right. Okay, so Janet. Oh yeah, hold on. Let me do this really quick. Sorry. Give me 1 second here, because I have someone, if they can get the link again to the presentation. So let me share that really quick. Okay, so if you need to look at the presentation again, I did put the link in the chat, okay? Yeah, Akshay Dashan, yeah, so the poll section is only for if you have a paid Zoom account. So down on the toolbar, okay, if you click where it says polls, you can ask a question, okay? And then that will set up your browser, okay? So let me just show this really quick, just because I know you guys have that question. Okay, so this will come up, okay? And then you can enter your question and all of your answers, okay? And then save, and it's gonna show up in the Zoom window for the students. It's just going to pop up, but that's only if you have a paid account. Okay, it's not going to work with the free ones. It only works with the paid accounts. Okay, let's see. How do I use the raise hand during Zoom meeting? Yes, for the students on the chat window. Okay, it's going to show their name where it says participants. Okay. And that will give you the option. The students will be able to see that where they can raise their hand, okay? So that option is on there. It's on the right side where the chat or the participants is in your Zoom window, okay? Let me see here. Are these webinars offered to the parents in other languages? Yeah, unfortunately, not at the time right now on YouTube. We do translate some of our videos that we do have into Spanish, okay? So these things will be able to definitely help out those families. Okay, and then someone's asking, how do you access the recording session on YouTube? So what I'm going to also do is I'm going to go ahead and provide the information in there for you for our Computerwisekids account. And if you guys enjoy our video, I definitely would say like and subscribe, because we have a lot of great content on there. And this is for the students and for educators as well, okay? So let me share this link. Okay, so there's the link right there. Oh, unfortunately, yeah, someone's asking, do I do the trainings for conference or from Schoology? I don't, unfortunately, but I'll see if I can get some more information about that and see if I can help you guys out. Now, and one more thing I want to do, because I do have to get going right now. I hope you guys had a lot of fun learning more about Zoom. I'm sure you guys knew quite a lot, but this information is always here to help us out. If you guys have any other questions, I'm putting my email into the chat. Okay, so you can just also send me an email, and I'll do my best to communicate with you and see if I can help you out. Okay, but at this time right now, I'm going to be ending the meeting. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining us this morning, and thank you for the nice messages. Okay, thank you so much. All right, I won't be on tomorrow in the AM to do the Zoom training tomorrow. But I will be on Wednesday, and that's with Google Forms. So if you guys are interested about Google Forms for your classroom, you can go ahead and join us for that session. Just make sure you register through that link we gave you, okay? Okay, guys, this is Mr. Sean signing off. Thank you so much. And thank you for the nice messages saying thanks and everything. Appreciate it. Okay, thanks. Thank you so much. Okay, bye, guys. Have a good one.